A Course in Miracles. Lesson 186. Salvation of the world depends on me. Here is the statement that will one day take all arrogance away from every mind. Here is the thought of true humility, which holds no function as your own, but that which has been given you. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. It but acknowledges the will of God is done on earth as well as heaven. It unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. Let us not fight our function. We did not establish it. It is not our idea. The means are given us by which it will be perfectly accomplished. All that we are asked to do is to accept our part in genuine humility and not deny with self-deceiving arrogance that we are worthy. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. Today's idea may seem quite sobering until you see its meaning. All it says is that your Father still remembers you and offers you the perfect trust He holds in you who are His Son. It does not ask that you be different in any way from what you are. What could humility request but this? And what could arrogance deny but this? Today we will not shrink from our assignment on the specious grounds that modesty is outraged. It is pride that would deny the call for God Himself. All false humility we lay aside today, that we may listen to God's voice reveal to us what He would have us do. We do not doubt our adequacy for the function He will offer us. We will be certain only that He knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. And if He deems us worthy, so we are. It is but arrogance that judges otherwise. There is one way, and only one, to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your value to it. If God's voice assures you that salvation needs your part and that the whole depends on you, be sure that it is so. The arrogant must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them to experience which might affront their stance. Yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them what they are and what to do. Arrogance makes an image of yourself that is not real. It is this image which quails and retreats in terror as the voice for God assures you that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the holiness to go beyond all images. You are not weak, as is the image of yourself. You are not ignorant and helpless. Sin cannot tarnish the truth in you, and misery can come not near the holy home of God. All this the voice for God relates to you. And as He speaks, the image trembles and seeks to attack the threat it does not know, sensing its basis crumble. Let it go. Salvation of the world depends on you, and not upon this little pile of dust. What can it tell the Holy Son of God? Why need He be concerned with it at all? And so we find our peace. We will accept the function God has given us, for all illusions rest upon the weird belief that we can make another for ourselves. Our self-made roles are shifting, and they seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of love and loving. We can laugh or weep, and greet the day with welcome or with tears. Our very being seems to change as we experience 1,000 shifts in mood, and our emotions raise us high indeed, or dash us to the ground in hopelessness. Is this the Son of God? Could He create such instability and call it Son? He who is changeless shares His attributes with His creation. All the images His Son appears to make have no effect on what He is. They blow across His mind like wind-swept leaves that form a patterning an instant, break apart to group again, and scamper off. Or like mirages seen above a desert, rising from the dust. These unsubstantial images will go and leave your mind unclouded and serene when you accept the function given you. The images you make give rise to but conflicting goals, impermanent and vague, uncertain and ambiguous. Who could be constant in his efforts or direct his energies and concentrated drive toward goals like these? The functions which the world esteems are so uncertain that they change 10 times an hour at their most secure. What hope of gain can rest on goals like this? In lovely contrast, certain as the sun's return each morning to dispel the night, your truly given function stands out clear and wholly unambiguous. There is no doubt of its validity. It comes from one who knows no error, and his voice is certain of its messages. They will not change, nor be in conflict. All of them point to one goal, and one you can attain. Your plan may be impossible, but God's can never fail because He is its source. Do as God's voice directs, and if it asks a thing of you which seems impossible, remember who it is that asks and who would make denial. Then consider this: which is more likely to be right? The voice that speaks for the Creator of all things, who knows all things exactly as they are, or a distorted image of yourself, confused, bewildered, inconsistent, and unsure of everything? Let not its voice direct you. Hear instead a certain voice, which tells you of a function given you by your Creator who remembers you and urges that you now remember Him. His gentle voice is calling from the known to the unknowing. He would comfort you, although He knows no sorrow. He would make a restitution, though He is complete, a gift to you, although He knows that you have everything already. He has thoughts which answer every need His Son perceives, although He sees them not. For love must give, and what is given in His name takes on the form most useful in a world of form. These are the forms which never can deceive, because they come from formlessness itself. Forgiveness is an earthly form of love, which as it is in heaven has no form. Yet what is needed here is given here as it is needed. In this form you can fulfill your function even here, although what love will mean to you when formlessness has been restored to you is greater still. Salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. Such is your function here. Lesson 186. Salvation of the world depends on me. You answered to 1,000 roles. What if God gave you only one? Picture an actor standing backstage just moments before the curtain rises. Around him hang hundreds of costumes: a king, a beggar, a soldier, a father, a prisoner, a hero, a villain. Every role he has ever played still hangs neatly pressed, waiting for another performance. For years he has slipped into one costume after another, until something strange begins to happen. He no longer remembers where the costume ends and where he begins. One night, just before the play is about to start, he hears someone quietly call his real name. Not the name of the king, not the name of the villain, not the name of the hero everyone applauds, his real name. Without thinking, he answers using the name of the character he is about to play. Again the voice calls. Again he answers with another character's name. Finally the voice grows silent, not because it has given up, but because it has realized something heartbreaking. The actor no longer knows who is being called. Perhaps that is what this lesson is inviting us to notice. Not that we have played many roles. There is nothing wrong with costumes when everyone remembers they are costumes. The problem begins the moment the actor forgets he can take them off. Then every success becomes his identity. Every failure becomes his identity. Every relationship becomes his identity. Every job, every accomplishment, every disappointment, every opinion, every label, every story. Another costume, another name, another role to answer to. Until the simple question, "Who are you?" becomes almost impossible to answer without pointing to something hanging on the rack. And somewhere beyond the noise of the theatre, beyond the applause, beyond the criticism, beyond every character we have ever defended, the director is still calling. not asking us to become someone new, only asking if we remember the one he called before the play ever began. The actor stands there, staring at the costumes, almost embarrassed by the invitation. Play myself? I don't even remember what that would look like. I've spent too many years becoming everyone else. Surely someone more qualified should play that part. Listen closely, because that sounds humble, but is it? Imagine the director smiling gently and saying, "I chose you for this role before the curtain ever rose," and the actor replying, "I don't think you chose wisely." Who is making the final judgment? The director or the actor? That is the strange disguise pride likes to wear. Sometimes it boasts, sometimes it apologizes, sometimes it hides behind modesty. But both voices are saying exactly the same thing. My judgment is more trustworthy than yours.
The actor has rehearsed so many different characters that he has begun to believe he must audition for the one part that has always belonged to him. He studies himself, questions himself, compares himself to the other actors, wonders whether someone else would perform it better, all the while forgetting one simple fact. The director never held auditions for this part. It was given not because the actor earned it, not because he perfected it, but because the one who wrote the story already knew exactly who could play it. The burden was never becoming worthy of the role. The burden came from pretending another role would fit better. Every costume whispered, "Try me instead." Every mask promised, "I'll finally tell you who you are." Yet no matter how convincing the disguise, the actor always felt something quietly pulling at him from beneath the fabric, as though the truest thing about him had never been stitched into any costume at all. Perhaps that quiet pull is not asking you to become someone different. Perhaps it is simply reminding you that you were never asked to become anyone else. Before the actor can answer, something unexpected happens. The costumes begin arguing among themselves. The king steps forward and says, "You are powerful because of me." The beggar laughs. "No, you are defined by what you've lost." The hero insists, "You exist to save everyone." The prisoner shakes his head. "You've always been trapped." The villain whispers, "You can never escape what you've done." The mourner clings to his sleeve. "You are your grief." The lover pleads, "You are only complete when someone chooses you." Every costume demands to be believed. Every mask claims to be the original. The actor listens to them for so long that he forgets something astonishing. None of them can speak unless he puts them on. Without him, they are nothing more than fabric hanging on a rack. Yet once he slips inside one, it suddenly begins telling him who he is. One moment he feels fearless, the next completely inadequate. One moment certain of himself, the next overwhelmed with doubt. His moods rise and fall with whichever costume he happens to be wearing. His confidence changes, his ambitions change, even his voice changes, until he mistakes constant change for his identity. But what if the changing itself is the clue? Would the one who was created by the changeless become a different person every time the wardrobe changed? Or would only the costume change while the actor beneath it remained exactly the same? A costume can wrinkle, it can tear, it can go out of style, it can even be thrown away. But none of that tells you anything about the one who was wearing it. The argument has never really been between the costumes. The argument has always been over one question: who gets to tell the actor who he is? The argument never ends because the play never seems to end. One scene closes, another begins. A stagehand appears with another costume already waiting. "Quick, this is who you need to be now." The actor barely has time to catch his breath before changing again. Now he must be successful. Now he must be admired. Now he must be strong. Now he must be agreeable. Now he must be fearless. Now he must be important. Now he must be invisible. Every new scene arrives with another wardrobe change, and every wardrobe change promises the same thing. This one will finally be the real you. So he keeps changing, not because the costumes satisfy him, but because none of them ever do. One role lasts a lifetime, another lasts a week. Some survive only until the next conversation. Others disappear the moment someone refuses to applaud. How exhausting it is to build an identity out of something that keeps asking to be replaced. Then the actor notices something he has somehow overlooked all these years. Every costume has changed. Every character has come and gone. Every scene has opened and closed. Yet the one putting them on has remained through them all. The actor beneath the wardrobe has never needed to become someone else. Only the costumes have. Perhaps peace has never been waiting for the perfect role. Perhaps peace begins the moment the actor stops searching for himself inside the wardrobe and remembers the one who was there before the first costume was ever handed to him. As that realization begins to settle over him, the shouting grows even louder. The king demands another entrance. The prisoner warns him not to leave. The actor waits for the director to hand him one final script, one final performance, one last impossible assignment that will prove he is finally worthy. Instead, the director says something so simple it almost feels disappointing. Take off the costume. The actor hesitates. Which one? The director smiles. The one you're wearing. The actor looks down. But this is who I am. No. It is only what you have been wearing. For the first time, the actor realizes why every role has felt so heavy. He was never meant to carry it after the scene was over. He was trying to live inside a costume that was only meant to pass across the stage. Perhaps that is what forgiveness has always been. Not forgiving the costume, not condemning the costume, simply remembering that the costume was never the actor. Every grievance, every fear, every accusation, every regret, every judgment has been stitched into the fabric of a character that was never asked to leave the stage. Forgiveness quietly unties every thread, not by destroying the costume, but by no longer confusing it with the one who was wearing it. As the costume slips gently to the floor, nothing real falls with it. Only the weight of pretending. The curtain begins to fall. The final lines have been spoken. The last scene has ended. The audience rises to its feet. They applaud the king. They applaud the hero. They applaud the villain. They applaud every character that walked across the stage. But something different happens backstage. The actor quietly removes the last costume. For the first time in a very long time, there is nothing left to perform. Nothing left to defend. Nothing left to prove. He walks toward the stage door wearing no costume at all. No crown, no chains, no mask, no title, no borrowed name. As he reaches the door, the director is waiting. Not with another script, not with another assignment, only with a smile that says, "I knew you would remember." The actor looks back one last time at the wardrobe that once seemed to contain his entire life. Every costume is still hanging there. None of them were wrong. They were simply never him. He realizes he doesn't have to burn them. He doesn't have to hate them. He doesn't even have to explain them. He only has to stop answering when they call his name. Perhaps that is what the salvation of the world depends upon. Not that one more actor plays his role perfectly, but that one actor finally remembers he is not the role at all. And perhaps forgiveness has always been that simple. The quiet willingness to stop introducing yourself by the name of a character, so that, at long last, you can answer when the director calls your own. The hero insists there are still people who need saving. The mourner reminds him of everything that was lost. The villain tells him he can never go back. Each character speaks with complete certainty. Each one claims to know what must happen next. Their voices overlap until they become a single wall of noise. Then, beneath all the commotion, he hears it again. Not louder, just steadier. The director has never raised his voice to compete with the characters. He simply continues calling, patiently, certainly, without urgency, without frustration, without changing his invitation. The actor suddenly understands why he struggled to hear it for so long. It wasn't because the director had stopped speaking. It was because he had been listening to the costumes argue over who he was. One voice asks him to become someone. The other reminds him of someone he has never stopped being. One voice changes with every scene. The other has never changed at all. One speaks from fear that the play is ending. The other speaks from the quiet certainty that the actor was never the character in the first place. Now the question is no longer whether the director is speaking. The question is much simpler. Which voice deserves to be believed?